Tragedy at Utah Valley University. What we know about Charlie Kirk's death. Who was Charlie Kirk? Charlie Kirk, age 31, was a prominent conservative activist and media personality. He co-founded Turning Point USA, hosted speaking tours on college campuses, and was a vocal ally of Donald Trump. Known for provocative debates, especially around political and cultural issues, he built a large following among younger right-wing audiences. What happened? On September 10, 2025, Charlie Kirk was speaking at Utah Valley University, UVU, in Orem, Utah. It was part of his American Comeback Tour at a student-sponsored speaking event called Prove Me Wrong, where Kirk generally engages with audience questions and debates. About 20 minutes into the event, while Kirk was speaking and answering audience questions, including one about transgender mass shooters, a single shot was fired, hitting him in the neck. The shot came from a building rooftop, Losi Center, roughly 200 yards, later revised in some reports, from Kirk's location. A high-powered bolt-action rifle was found later in nearby woods. Authorities found palm prints, footprints, and the rifle as part of the investigation. Aftermath and investigation. Kirk was taken to Timpanogos Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The shooter remains at large. Over 7,000 tips have been received by law enforcement. 2 people were initially detained but released after questioning, neither identified as the shooter. The suspect remains at large. Surveillance video shows the suspect running across the roof of a campus building, from which the fatal shot is believed to have been fired. The suspect is seen dropping off the roof, then running across a grassy area toward a wooded area near campus. The video evidence helped investigators locate a high-powered, bolt-action rifle in the wooded area where the suspect fled. Law enforcement is continuing a manhunt. Authorities' requests. Investigators released photos/video of a person of interest wearing black clothing and tactical gear, helmet and mask, carrying a long gun. A public tip line and reward are in place. Governor Spencer Cox urged public cooperation. The shooting evoked strong stances from many on both sides of the political spectrum. Donald Trump described it as an assassination and announced a posthumous Presidential Medal of Freedom for Kirk. Political violence and rhetoric, especially involving campus events, became a renewed point of public concern. Community impact. UVU suspended classes, closed during investigation. In Orem, Utah, a normally quiet town, residents were shocked. Makeshift memorials, vigils, and strong emotional outpouring. Some are worried about escalating political violence, polarized discourse, and threats to free speech. Others are cautious about Kirk's controversial legacy and rhetoric. Submitting tips. Utah Governor Spencer Cox and other officials have urged anyone with photos or videos related to the incident to submit them to a special tip line. Information needed. The public is being asked to identify anyone who owns the distinctive clothing and items worn by the suspect. Addressing misinformation. Governor Cox has cautioned the public against a tremendous amount of disinformation being circulated online. Why this matters. The event highlights how political divisions and tensions in the U.S. are increasingly being manifested not just in words, but in lethal violence. Security at public speaking events, especially those with political content, is under scrutiny. How someone got access to a high-ground vantage point with a long-ranged weapon is a key question. As the investigation continues, federal and state officials are urging the public to remain cautious and report any suspicious activity. For the community of Orem, Utah, typically a quiet college town, the shock of the killing is still sinking in. Utah Valley University mourns alongside the nation, the university said in a statement. Our campus is dedicated to free expression and respectful debate. The violence that claimed Mr. Kirk's life has no place here or anywhere. What we know about the funeral and remains. Body transported to Arizona. Charlie Kirk's casket was flown from Utah to Phoenix, Arizona aboard Air Force 2. Vice President J.D. Vance escorted the remains. At the Phoenix airport, Kirk's widow Erica Kirk, and other family members accompanied the casket. The funeral is expected to take place soon in Phoenix, Arizona, which is Charlie Kirk's home state. President Donald Trump has said he will attend the service. The exact venue and time of the funeral have not yet been officially confirmed. A memorial has formed at the Turning Point USA headquarters in Phoenix, with people laying flowers and paying respects. There is also a prayer vigil scheduled in Arizona State University on September 15th at 5:30 p.m. for Kirk. The manhunt remains active, with law enforcement emphasizing that the suspect should be considered armed and dangerous. Public trust and safety in institutions and freedom of expression are deeply affected in communities where these events happen.